The Forgotten Wife. The village of Elderwood was known for its tall, whispering pines and the crystal-clear river that wound through its heart. Nestled in a secluded corner of this serene hamlet was a quaint cottage, cloaked in the vibrant hues of ivy and surrounded by a garden bursting with blooms. This was the home of Ilara, the Forgotten Wife. Ilara had once been the jewel of Elderwood. With her raven-black hair cascading down her back and eyes the color of the deepest ocean, she was a sight to behold. Her voice, a soft melody, brought comfort to all who heard it. She married Kale, the village's most skilled blacksmith, and for a time, their life together was idyllic. Kale was a man of strength and honor, respected by all. His craft was unrivaled, and his forge was always ablaze with work. However, as the years passed, his devotion to his craft began to overshadow his love for Ilara. The forge's glow replaced the warmth of their hearth, and the clang of metal on metal drowned out Ilara's gentle voice. It was a slow descent into obscurity for Ilara. At first, it was small things, a missed meal, a forgotten promise. But as time went on, Kale's neglect grew more pronounced. He became consumed by his work, seeking perfection in every piece of metal he shaped. Ilara's once vibrant presence faded into the background, like a forgotten melody in a busy market square. One crisp autumn morning, Ilara decided to take a walk along the river. The air was filled with the scent of pine and the sound of leaves crunching underfoot. She reached the edge of the water and stared at her reflection. The woman looking back at her seemed a stranger. Her once bright eyes were dull, and her face bore the lines of loneliness and sorrow. She felt the weight of her forgotten existence pressing down on her shoulders. As she wandered further, she stumbled upon a small, hidden glade she had never seen before. In the center stood an ancient oak tree, its gnarled branches reaching out like welcoming arms. At the base of the tree was a small, intricately carved wooden box. Ilara knelt and gently lifted the lid. Inside, she found a delicate, silver locket. She opened it to reveal a tiny, intricately detailed portrait of a woman who bore a striking resemblance to her. Curiosity piqued, Ilara took the locket and decided to visit the village elder, Melis. Melis was known for her wisdom and knowledge of the village's history. When Ilara showed her the locket, Melis' eyes widened in recognition. "This locket belonged to Eliana," Melis said softly. "She was a healer and a kind soul, much like you, Ilara. But she too was forgotten by the man she loved." Melis told Ilara the story of Eliana, who had lived many generations ago. Eliana had married a renowned warrior, Irinder, who was often away on battles. Over time, Irinder became more absorbed in his quests for glory, neglecting Eliana's love and devotion. She spent her days caring for the villagers, but her heart yearned for the affection she had once known. Eventually, Eliana faded into the shadows, her name lost to time, until all that remained was the locket. Hearing this story stirred something deep within Ilara. She realized she had a choice: to continue fading into obscurity or to reclaim her life and happiness. Determined to change her fate, Ilara began to visit the glade daily, finding solace and strength beneath the ancient oak tree. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden glow over the village, Ilara confronted Kale. She stood in the doorway of his forge, her silhouette outlined by the fading light. "Kale," she called out, her voice firm but gentle. "We need to talk." Kale looked up from his work, surprise flickering in his eyes. He had not truly seen Ilara in years, and now, standing before him, she seemed different, stronger, more resolute. "What is it, Ilara?" he asked, setting aside his hammer. "I cannot live like this anymore," she began, her voice steady. "I have loved you with all my heart, but I refuse to be forgotten. I need to live a life that is filled with love, not neglect." Kale's face softened, guilt and realization washing over him. He reached out to touch her hand, but she stepped back. "Please, listen," she continued. "You are a brilliant blacksmith, but you have lost sight of what truly matters. We can still find our way back to each other, but it will take effort from both of us." Cale's shoulders slumped as he absorbed her words. He saw the truth in her eyes and felt the weight of his neglect. For the first time in years, he truly saw Alara, the woman he had fallen in love with, the woman he had forgotten. Over the following months, Cale made a concerted effort to rebuild their relationship. He spent less time at the forge and more time with Alara, rediscovering the joy they had once shared. They took long walks together, talked late into the night, and slowly, the warmth returned to their hearth. Alara, too, found a renewed sense of purpose. She began to share her knowledge of herbs and healing with the villagers, becoming a beloved figure in Elderwood. Her garden flourished, and with it, so did her spirit. One day, as Alara tended to her garden, she found a new plant sprouting beneath the ancient oak tree in the hidden glade. It was unlike any she had ever seen, its petals shimmering with a silvery hue. She carefully transplanted it to her garden, naming it Aliana's Bloom in honor of the woman who had inspired her to reclaim her life. Years passed, and the story of Alara and Cale became a cherished legend in Elderwood. Their love, once forgotten, was now remembered by all who heard it. And in the heart of Alara's garden, Aliana's Bloom continued to flourish, a testament to the enduring power of love and resilience. In the end, Alara was not a forgotten wife, but a beacon of hope and strength. Her story served as a reminder that it is never too late to reclaim one's happiness and that even in the darkest moments, there is always a path back to the light.